Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Medieval 2 Total War Definitive Edition here today on the channel. We have episode 12 of my Holy Roman Empire series here today. We're going to have the invasion of the Americas and conquer it for the Holy Roman Empire. So, if you like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really much appreciate it. Just trying to marry off some of these princesses here. We're currently under the reign of Prince Dieter, our fourth emperor we've had all of the series. So here's the family tree as well. It's massively exploded, which is awesome. Unfortunately, a bunch of our generals died of the plague and in various battles here and there, but the line of von Kessel is barely alive by the look of it. And we've also got Mandorf and von Saxony and a couple of other famed generals as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where this family tree sort of takes us and who's going to be the future eventual emperor. Okay, the world is round. Thanks, we've discovered that. So we're going to get to the point soon. We're going to be able to get caravels and be able to sail to the new world. As we're 161 turns in now, most of Europe is under our control. Alright, into Ludo, we're getting some better quality units, and we can get a naval dry dock, yes, and we can get a carrack as well. So we'll skip a little bit ahead, but now we've opened up the area in the far west that we can see the Aztecs, so we will need to build up an army. We have quite a strong military presence in Anatolia, in Ankara. We've got a bunch of generals we want to send back as well, because we want to set up a couple family trees that will head over to the Americas, and we've also got a bunch of crusaders as well. So looking at the map, we've got Europe under our control, most of North Africa. I've set up essentially a bit of a defensive perimeter in and around Jerusalem. This is where we're going to hold it, as we're still dealing with the Mongols and the Timurids around. Oh no, Emperor Dieter dies. Because we're just powering through the turns here now. So Emperor Heinricus has gone to his brother. Oh, why didn't it go to the son? Oh no, the line is broken for the first time, I guess. So where's it gone to now exactly? I can't see it. I wish you could zoom out like in CK3, because you can actually see it a lot better. So Emperor Henricus, who's 53 as well, got a bunch of authority, which is good. But Jonas really should be the next emperor technically. And Egypt has been officially destroyed. That's hilarious that they've finally got taken out. What happened there in Baghdad? Who took it, I wonder? Maybe the Turks. I don't know. Oh my god, guys, check this out. The Timurids are heading right for us. Luckily, we've got some forts and armies nearby. Oh my god. Okay, skipped a little bit ahead. So, the military forces and crusaders that we had, and some of the generals in the Holy Land, we've now gone all the way to Spain, because this is where we're going to be launching our westward invasion into the Americas. That's what we're going to be focusing on in today's episode. Destroying the Aztec Empire as a faction. Setting up some colonies in the New World, in the United States, Florida, maybe even the Caribbean. That'd be brilliant. So, Prince Rudolph the Mad. So, he's a von Kessel, technically. So, his mother. So, his grandfather was Otto von Kessel. That's cool. And his father was Orwin, who was quite a good commander as well. Alrighty. So, here are the armies getting ready to go over. 6, 7 full stacks should be surely enough. We've also got access to gunpowder units as well, so I can't wait to use them. So the carracks have been constructed, and move the armies on in, and we'll be able to sail to the new world. No worries, here's hoping. Okay, let's start making some headway now at the top of the turn. Come on, guys, move on out. History and the seas beckon us. I can't wait to see how the Aztecs hold up against us. Oh my god, because we're powering through the turns, we're going through a lot of emperors. So Emperor Heinricus is dead as well. Oh my god, the actual male line has nearly died out slightly. So who's the emperor now? Emperor Rudolph the Mad. Bunch of authority, but it might bounce again. So this is our first emperor that doesn't isn't a part of the main line. Look at all these generals there, oh my god. Alright. It's just taking a little while to get to the Americas. Oh no, at the top of the turn we've lost some generals, I think. Maybe we lost some men in a storm. Oh, that's incredibly bad RNG. Oh no, we lost a couple as well.
Testing the theory that one can head east
by
sailing west carried the risk of a remote, watery grave. Yet this act of courage has been rewarded with the discovery of a strange new land, perchance a whole new world. Who knows what riches await those with the courage to explore? What
a cool intro. Okay, so where are we exactly? Brazil, Mexico? Yeah, Mexico would be. Because the Mayans aren't in it, but the land is there for it. Okay, so we're blindly going in. So Jonas died tragically. Oh no, look, the male line is dead. So he died in the sea, Jonas. So the male line of emperors has died out. Yeah, because you could track it through male preference primogenitor. Because it's bouncing all over the bit a little bit. I guess it doesn't really matter now. It's just going with whoever the council think is best for the job. So we've got some native archers here. I've got one army heading to Cuba to take it. A clear-cut order resolve. We're going to be able to take Cuba for the Holy Roman Empire. Then we've got Florida and hopefully a couple of other settlements. So it is pagan, but that's alright. But we're going to be able to get a lot of resources, gems, tobacco, sugar, valuable goods. And we're going to be able to flog it back to the Europeans at home. Cool.
By an ancient culture, the
New World is inhabited. I love these intros.
For a seemingly simple people, their cities are vast and complicated. Their primitive outlook belies their ability to raise vast stone structures that rival anything the old world has to offer. And if gold is the measure of an empire's might, then the Aztecs are formidable indeed.
We found the Aztecs, fellas. Alright, so we'll send you to... What's this? It's technically... Is this Florida? We're just a bit away from it. Maybe we're closer to Louisiana. But let's fight this one. Let's have a battle on and in the Americas against the Native Americans here. Wouldn't necessarily be Apache, I wouldn't think, but they could be. Americans in this area. Where is it exactly? Looks like Louisiana. I'm not an American. I'm not 100% on your geography. Let me know what tribe used to live here and what state is this technically.
Of those worthless fools. Then we'll gut them.
Okay, just a short speech, I guess. So let's get stuck into them. Well, thankfully, this army has got a bunch of swordsman spam. We're at the stage now in the campaign, 200 turns, that most of my armies are actually occupied with feudal knights. They're just so expensive to get, but thanks to the already established, built-up Iberian castles, we were able to make these fantastic armies that can flood into the New World. Because the natives and the Aztecs are going to be not as easy to take as you'd think. It's kind of cool that there's a temple mound there. It looks more Aztec than Native American. But they had mounds and stuff, didn't they? I believe so. Okay, so let's split up a bit before we get stuck into them. And we take our first state in what will be the United German States of America. Hell yeah, brother. Right, let's get on in. Let's get stuck into these native archers. And we haven't seen what the Aztecs are going to throw at us, but so far we've established a base of operations in Cuba. Hopefully we can build it up as well. So even if the hordes of the Mongols and the Tumurids destroy and swallow Europe up, we've got a nice little getaway and holiday home here. But we are struggling to advance and progress in this fight by the look of it. But we're really going to benefit now from the hard work we put in the European campaign, in the European theatre, as we can flood so much resources and men and ships and money to finance this adventure into the new world. Man, that sucks that the family line died on out. Who would have thought that? To be fair, Conrad, Dieter's sisters, did have husbands and children, so you could go through that, but yeah, I wonder who technically is the emperor. It's just a shame you can't choose factionaries. That's my major gripe. Particularly if you're playing as like high medieval factions. Going and choosing your heirs and tracing your lineage through the male line is always a lot of fun. I don't mind it so much in Rome Total War because, for example, Caesar's nephew wasn't his biological son, and a lot of Romans adopt generals and men by status. A good family name and blood helps, being Roman, but they don't have to be the direct, like, father to son line. They're a little bit more liberal about that compared to these medieval buggers. Now the cavalry's come on in, and now with hot German steel, we're carving through. The men of the Americas here. We're going to be able to claim victory. Perfect. Good. This is what I wanted. But to be fair, the Aztec fighting man does have some pretty strong and crude weapons. Like, his melee attack is actually quite good in this game. So we will have to be a little bit wary of those Jaguar and other warriors and stuff. Cool. Yeah, so it's like, because like Georgia's, Atlanta's up there. Yeah, must be Louisiana or something. Or maybe it is Florida technically, but like, I'm sure states have changed even from the earlier years, the borders of them. Okay, so we're going to be able to get a bunch of Aztecs recruited here because we've got the money. Perfect. We'll get them to fight along our side against their own countrymen, I guess. Because you forget that, because the Aztecs pissed off so many other local tribes and peoples, they were more than happy when the Spanish rocked up to take out their Aztec overlords. So the Spanish and Portuguese were never to arrive. This time around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legions of the Imperial Army descend against the Aztecs. So we've got some priests here, some leopard warriors. That's cool. Oh my god, 7,000 as well. So let's fight this one, our first against the Aztecs. This is going to be a lot of fun, I can't wait. It's probably been like 15 years since I've been to the Americas as the Holy Roman Empire. It's been so long. Look at this huge city.
The enemy? The enemy? I've eaten sausages with more real meat.
These speeches are so short. I don't know what that's about. Maybe the English has English have longer speeches. There were some longer ones at the start. Maybe the German ones, because like there's interestingly in the game files, there's not an even amount of general speeches, and I don't know if people know that necessarily. Like the English have the most, They have like an hour or so worth of general speeches. The French are up there as well, but the Scots and the Egyptians and the Russians sort of have a shorter amount of general speeches. So this is a really interesting army. This is nearly a high medieval army. We've also got some gunpowder elements as well. So we've got a nice mix here of core Germanic, Feudic, chivalric knights and dismounted. We've also got some crusaders as well, dismounted and spears from the Holy Lands. Then we've got some heavies, we've got some two-handed swordsmen, and then of course we've got some gunpowder units as well. We've got some Gothic knights, and then we've got some feudal. But we've got some mercenary gunners there, and we've got a trebuchet as well. We've brought absolutely everything that the Holy Roman Empire, the German Empire, has to offer. Here comes the Imperial Army. Man, if we could have the Imperial March blaring, could you imagine it? Do, 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 do. Alright, let's try and target those arrow towers there as well. But they're starting to skirmish us here. A little bit unrealistic how built up their city is. It looks like there's got some crazy stonemasonry there, which is not the most believable. Like, wasn't it tickling us like a bunch of built on a bunch of lakes? I've seen some maps on it. It looks super, super cool. It's all dried up now, and is Mexico City, which is Q. Alright. The unhorsed Holy Crusade is about to move on up. Thankfully, they didn't have any, obviously, ballista or any proper decent arrow towers, because when we were fighting against the Egyptians, let's say in the last episode, against the Ayyubids, they were able to take out my rams due to those ballistas. Are they technically Ayyubids? I'm just going from Medieval Kingdoms Total War 1212 AD to like roughly around about that timeline, because you forget how many times Egypt has changed hands. My God! Like, let's start. So we've got like the ancient Egyptians, which you consider for like 2,000 years. Then you've got like some of the pharaohs. Then obviously Alexander rocked up and took it for himself. Then Alexander died, and then the Ptolemies ruled, and Cleopatra was one of them. That's an interesting thing as well, because like Cleopatra was ethnically Macedonian Greek, but she ruled over ancient Egyptians. And then what? So then we've got the Ayyubids in there and some of the eastern factions. What were they called? Starts with an M. Mamluks. Yeah, Mamluks are there for quite a bit. Then we've got the Turks getting in there. Oh, the Fatimids. It changed a fair few times, didn't it? And then the Ottomans held it for a bit. Then the British rocked up. It's like so many times it's changed. It's kind of crazy. And now it's back to the Arab Republic of Egypt, isn't it now technically? Alright, let's move on in. So we've captured the Aztec walls. Man, just a little bit gobsmacked about the terrain. This looks like a really cool city. It's slightly snowed. There's some grass and dry area here as well. Kind of strange. I love how the Aztecs are living in an eastern-looking house here. Yeah, it looks like they've mapped like a Middle Eastern city in here. Looks a little bit odd here and there. But let's get stuck into those Jaguar warriors. I'm curious to see how our two-handed Germans do, as we're going to take our first piece of territory against the Aztec hordes. Ooh, yeah, I wonder how many territories they have. Like, it's been a while. I'm going to have to maybe rely on some natural scouts, let's say. And I always found the Aztecs super fascinating. Their their culture and even their religion. I think their religion is really cool. It's super interesting. Well, not cool. I wouldn't say that, actually. I think it's just interesting. Oh, no, Hans! How'd you get yourself killed by a bunch of Aztecs? What? I even like that, as a theatrical movie, like Apocalypto, is a really good movie. Like, it's just an enjoyable movie as it on its own. Like, Mel Gibson, absolute fucking madman. And I can say that as an Australian. Just fucking bonkers. Fucking nuts. I'm pretty sure that movie is really historically inaccurate as well from what I can remember. But it's a good like chase movie. I might need to rewatch it. Crazy as fuck. Oh. Just a bit of a grind at the moment. Got our cavalry in. But it's only going to be a matter of time before we take our first Aztec settlement. But that's my jam. History movies. Look, I like a good full-on historical, but I also just don't mind a bit of a popcorn historical movie, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of them that I look back on that aren't overly that good. I'm sure you can think of some that come to mind. And, I don't know if that was overly historically accurate, but that was a fun history movie. Although Netflix has had some bad ones, I do appreciate them like trying to pump them out, because there is an audience for it. The more the merrier. Hopefully they can get more. Alright, we are... Our initial army, once we lost Hans there, wasn't the best. We're going to maybe move my gunners in. But we've surrounded this ancient Aztec city now. But you got to give it to them. They are fighting to the absolute bitter end for their city. I'm curious as well how the resources are here in Medieval 2. Like, does it actually richly reward you from going into the New World?
Our men have taken control of the city.
Because obviously in, let's say, Empire Total War, even in Darth mod, it's a little bit more exacerbated in vanilla. But holding overseas colonies is so important, and protecting those trade lanes. Like, you're nearly better off doing that than in Europe. Like, you're better off pouring your resources into those Americas and Indian theatre, because the gems, the tobacco, the tea is just so valuable. I wonder if it's the same. I'm also curious as well. I don't think I've ever gotten to 200 turns and there's been many factions left. If any, like Catholic ones, let's say. Like, I'm just curious as a question. If you're someone who's played like 200 turns in Medieval 2 and you've left, say, England, Spain, Portugal alive, do they tend to race you to the Americas? You'd think so. In the Americas campaign in the expansion DLC, they do seem to be obviously more of a presence. Because they are spawned and moved on in, the French and the English. Which is cool. I'm definitely tempted to go through the DLCs. I do want to try and go through and play more Medieval 2 vanilla. Just because I simply haven't done it on the channel. There's just so many factions. Hey, victory! They gave us a bit of a scare there. Alright, so hopefully we didn't lose too many generals. We lost one. Oh, maybe another. That's an... Oh, no. You got to give it to the Aztec. Herman. I thought he was Hans something. Andreas. Oh, no. And Herman. What? They got the same last name as well. Oh, no. We lost a couple of them there. Oh, no. Not good whatsoever. Yeah, so it's only making us 300 per turn, which isn't crazy. We've got gold mines here, though. Maybe the player's bringing merchants over. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so there seems to be another Aztec army here. Okay, so Bernhard der Stolz. I guess it's Stolz. So we'll give him the command simply because he's lost two of his brothers more than likely in the siege. That's annoying. And I guess we'll bring this Aztec army up as well just to give it a little bit of flavour. Or native. I mean, I'm sure there was other tribes that called themselves something else because we gave the name Aztecs to them.
Pray now for intercession of the Sankt Michael for our imperial cause. If you ride a horse, add a prayer to Sankt Martin to your devotions. And if any of you should see a black cat nearby, throw a stone at Satan's familiar and drive away the bad luck it will surely bring. Today, you will face cruel and pagan foes. Every one of these Aztecs that you cut down will cleanse a sin. Do not stay your head.
Alright, calm down, Bernard. We get it. I guess he hates Aztecs. After a couple of our Imperial boys were lost in that siege. Right, let's form on up. Fighting with the same army. Catapult in tow. Also got some gunners as well. Didn't get to use too many of those in that last siege, which you would imagine. Sometimes it's good if you can get an angle. Get your gunners to narrow shoot and once you got some, you can funnel in those corridors. But they just weren't really useful. Right, let's swing around here. Let's fight the Aztecs on the open field. Good. Luckily we can see the terrain. They do have a little bit of tree coverage, but nothing too crazy. Let's fire the trebuchets in there. But they might even charge against me, which would be absolutely bonkers. It'd be insane if the Aztec fighting man was to do this. Archers moving up. Oh my god, look at those guys. Oh! Massive artillery barrage. Alright, let's get stuck into those arrow warriors. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing the DLCs for Medieval 2. There's just so much content. I've done a couple. I think I did a Teutonic Odyssey. Oh no, was that Stainless Steel? God, have I not done the DLCs on this channel either? Maybe some. Oh, well, those pistols on horseback just absolutely trashed that arrow warrior unit. My god. Mein Gott! We're doing well. And I can't imagine what the Aztecs think of a flaming, fiery trebuchet.
Stay strong, and the enemy will be defeated.
Let's move on up. So fierce fighting is breaking out between ourselves and the Aztecs. And our Imperial steel, our spears and artillery, and our superior technology is winning the day. But now we know in history, the major weapon the Europeans had was disease. I wonder how far they would have gotten without that major player. Which is kind of crazy. They're like even discovering cities now, aren't they? That have been completely left and deserted, and the jungle's overgrown and taken them. That they think was home to thousands of people that were taken out by disease. Man, the Central Americas and the South is so fascinating. Like even when the Spanish rocked up, they had like some religious belief that a white god would rock up. And that's why they were open to negotiating with them, weren't they, for quite some time. Oh, here we go. Got some gunners running them down. It's interesting that they seem to be running as well. But maybe that's because they're so lightly armoured. Those musket and pistol rounds and handgun rounds are just shredding on through them. And you wouldn't imagine the Aztecs would have much left now as well. They mustn't have too many more settlements. As our cavalry is going to be the major player in these battles. Like, they're not going to be able to essentially stop them. As they wouldn't have had any... No, they definitely wouldn't have had any mounted horses of their own. They're going to have to ride llamas in, or alpacas, into the fray. No. It'd be hilarious if they did. Or the Africans rode zebras, or something. Alright, so let's finish off the last of the Aztecs here. Let's get rid of the Emperor as well. And that should be the last of them, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. The Aztecs have been destroyed. So they only start off with 2 settlements there. And the Americas is now ours and fully under our control. So we've nearly hit bang on 200 turns, which is absolutely insane. So we've got some other small armies here that we want to deal with. But honestly, that's pretty much it, guys. I think I'm happy to end the series here. I think we've had the full Medieval 2 experience. We started off in the, I don't know, low, beginning Middle Ages, like medieval era. We've worked our way up to the Middle Ages, and then we've gone to the high ages. Now we're getting muskets and stuff. Check out how many family members are here. It's crazy. We've ventured into the New World, and it is, yeah, look at this, 1476. Far out. Emperor Rudolf the Man has entered the throne. The long line of direct descendants. So, Rudolf von Kessel was the male line, and then he's the daughter, so it actually changed. Oh, it was it Jungen? Oh, yeah, because his father got executed for heresy, right. I remember that now. What else have we got here? So they got a stronger male line. Yeah, so Frederick. Oh, so Walkerus. Oh, so he's actually a pretty... Because he's technically the emperor. Oh, well, he's up in America. Well, that's fitting. Yeah, so it's like looking through male preference primogeniture, he would be the next male heir, wouldn't he? Yeah, well, that's hilarious. That the true emperor of the entire Roman Empire is hanging out in Florida. Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. Prince Lucas as well has a bit of a loose claim. But, yeah, I don't think there's much else for me to really do. It would only be just grinding against the Mongols or the Tumurids, which would be really hard to defeat. I kind of made a choice. Like, do we focus on eliminating them and eradicating them, or do we go to the Americas? And I thought that would be more enjoyable for me. But so it looks like the Turks, the Russians, the Byzantines are the only 3 factions remaining. They set up their own small successor kingdom in Acca, Antioch, Cyprus, which is quite cool. The Turks still hold most of central and east Anatolia, but the Russians have had to cede some territory to the Mongols in Smolensk, while they have found their new home, and the Tumurids are still being absolutely wild in doing so. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this full Medieval 2 campaign. I've had an absolute blast, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for all the fantastic support. I wouldn't be where I am as a YouTuber without you guys' support, so thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. So, what's next, you might be thinking? Well, I haven't decided just yet, so let me know in the comments. I'm definitely open to doing more Medieval 2. There's still a bunch of cool and interesting factions to play as, and yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another full campaign like this, hitting our long victory conditions, which we did ages ago. We did it 150 turns ago. So, yeah, I'm happy you guys... I'm happy that I decided to continue on with this campaign, and you guys to encourage me to do so as well. Because it was a lot of fun. I forgot, like... I didn't forget, but it was like... I forgot how enjoyable... A little bit grindy, but how enjoyable once you get to this late era. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. You got the multiple invasions, you got some gunpowder units, and also you got the invasion of the Americas as well. And then we're actually able to have proper crusades, because we were kind of excommunicated, so we weren't able to go on crusades pretty early on. But anyway, guys, take care. Got to play the outro, and stay tuned for something coming out tomorrow. I'm always uploading. So anyway, take care, fellas. Goodbye. Unfortunately, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Check out my social media links in the description below if you want to stay connected with me. I also want to say thank you to this month's patrons and channel members: Victor K, Sebastian C, Jordan K, Caesar L, Brian S, Tao, Lion B, Kyle P, Tom C, and White P. My name has been Simpzy. Much love from Australia. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.